Man, I'm starting to get bored of top lane. I mean, I enjoy playing my Lilia top here and there, but the role just isn't that fun. No matter how fed you get, no matter how hard you try to carry the game, I feel like it has no impact. Now, imagine if I played a role that had impact on all states of the game and was kind of fun. Oh, I could play jungle. If only I knew how to play any character who could be a jungler, maybe one with a good jungle clear, you know, who has high burst damage and is a bit tanky. I know, I'm gonna play Poppy Jungle. So why Poppy Jungle? Well, it's because she's fun. Okay, for the real reason why we're going Poppy Jungle is that it fits all my criteria at the beginning of the video. Poppy is a really fast character, she has good single target burst, and is a very good clear for an off jungler. Lilia who? Anyways, she's very flexible in jungle compared to top lane due to how her kit is better suited for jungling compared to laning. Well, let me explain why that is. I'm gonna go over her kit now, as well as the runes you should take on her if you take her in the jungle. Poppy is short ranged. Her kit makes you play into the enemy's face to get any value out of it, and is easily kiteable if you space well. Poppy can't really lane into ranged top laners at all, and herself, she doesn't have any range aside from her passive. Her laning phase is subpar, and even with her kit, it was made for ganking. Her E and W are better suited as a jungler for two reasons. They're great gank tools and due to terrain. I'll go over terrain in a second. So first, I'll go over her W. Poppy's W is a spell that will only scale better the longer it exists in League of Legends in the current state it is. In this game, due to one fact, dash creep and movement creep, and Poppy's one of the only characters actually in the entire game that can just say no. It's a good tool to stop laners from easily dashing away from your ganks, and then you can punish them by pushing them into the wall with your E when you come up from river and be behind them. Her W is good, gives you movement speed, stops enemies from running away from you. But what do I mean by terrain? Well, yeah, terrain is good on Poppy. The jungle is filled with walls, and your E stun is way more viable and applicable here. It's simple, more walls in the jungle for more opportunities for your E to land and stun enemies. You get an easier time cheesing the enemy jungler for when they contest you at objectives such as Crab early game by stunning them and pushing them into the E wall. Your E has quite long range and is quite forgiving for what a stun is on Poppy. She's a hidden duelist. With the runes you take on Poppy Jungle, her burst is insane. People underestimate Poppy's damage until, they're dead. And another reason why she's good is her ultimate. Again, another tool that can change fights really hard in the jungle for things like objectives, right? Say your team, is kind of weak and it's hard for you guys to fight for objectives. You can use your ultimate as a tool to open up new opportunities for fights by ulting the enemy frontline away and your team collapses on their backline, or just singling out one target and then ulting them away, say like a fed Katarina or something, and then now you take a 4v5 and hopefully your team gets the advantage because they're down a player before that player can return to the fight. Now I'll go over the runes you take on Poppy because I did mention Poppy doesn't really run tank runes. Huh? Yes, Poppy, a tank champion, doesn't run tank runes. I'll go over her rune pages first, and then I'll explain why you're not taking any tank runes. So, Poppy has two rune pages here. She has this one, which is Poppy's speed, and then this is basically what you would run on default for almost every single game, right? But I usually run this whenever I want to have fun. So, between the two, let's go over this one first. So, Poppy's speed. This one's where you take all your speed runes. You go Sorcery into Domination, you're running Phase Rush, Nimbus, Celerity, Water Walking, default into Domination second, Cheap Shot, Relentless, and then for your default Poppy runes, you're going to be taking this almost every single game. It's going to be Dark Harvest with Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collection, Relentless Hunter, Celerity, and Water Walking. For both pages, your side runes here are going to be the same, double adapted into Health Skilling. Poppy Top is not as efficient as Poppy Jungle, and I'm going to go over her tank runes and why they're just bad anyways compared to Poppy Jungle. Poppy Talk, she takes Grass. Grass is hard rune for her to proc. But Foon, you're saying, Poppy's in the jungle, of course she won't take Grass, she'll be taking Aftershock. I mean, yeah, you could take Aftershock on Poppy Jungle, but her rune page, it's not as optimal as taking these fast runes and the damage runes. I'll go over that right now. The reason why you want these runes on Poppy is so you could have access to the two most important runes here. Well, three. Celerity, Water Walking, and Relentless Hunter. These runes are fantastic for Poppy due to the fact that Poppy loves fighting in a river, so you're making use of Water Walking, and the Celerity movement speed along with Relentless will help you get picks. You see, Poppy, despite being a tank champion, she falls off late game. Falls off really hard, actually. You can build as much tank as you want as Poppy. She just doesn't feel tanky late game, where it really matters. But you're like, Brandon, you also took Dark Harvest. Isn't Dark Harvest scale better with time? Yes, but as Poppy, you want to end the game as quickly as possible. She's very oppressive early to mid game due to just how much damage is in her kit and the fact that people can't really build against you because they don't got money, right? But as the lane goes on later and later and everybody starts to scale, you don't scale as well. As Poppy Jungle, you just want to end the game fast. Her having amazing tools and damage in her kit allows her to, contest early objectives to get your team a huge gold lead in the early game that your team can use to snowball and end the game with. So taking tank runes on a champion who falls off in tankiness late game, who really can't do much, isn't gonna help you, but taking damage runes and movement speed runes that will help you throughout your early to mid game and kinda scale into the late game if you're able to get picks on side lanes on a 1v1 situation is going to help your team instead of building tank and grouping with them. So that is why I, and almost every other Poppy Jungle player, takes damage runes with Celerity and Water Walking. Now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the video, the itemization on Poppy Jungle. Unlike the Lilia video, I'm going to make this one quick, so let's dive right into it. These are what you can be building on Poppy. Honest to God, you can start any jungle item you want, but if you don't care about the advice I'm about to give, you're probably going to go Moonstone if you're going to go tank, and I'll just do this one quickly. If you're going to build Poppy as a tank, these are the items you should be building on her, right? Iceborne, right, as your armor. There's this, where is it? Let's throw in some boots, and pretend you finished this. Get one of these, and there we go. If you just want to go full tank, just take this. This is Poppy's full itemization here. It's going to be if you decide to go full tank. But this is what I would recommend on Poppy Jungle. Every game, we go Gus Walker. Why? Gus Walker fully upgraded. It's turbo broken. So I'm going to fully upgrade it. So give me 1 second. Okay, so I magically finished my Gus Walker here. So, for first item on Poppy, we're actually gonna use this here. I do forget to mention, the reason why Gus Walker is good is because it gives Poppy more movement speed. That's pretty much it. Poppy loves movement speed. You go Gus Walker, why? More movement speed. Movement speed is good. For first item, you should always build 180 item on Poppy, because you're running your damage runes, and the fact that a little bit of extra 80 isn't gonna hurt you at all, because Poppy has huge burst. I recommend going one of these two. I usually build Eclipse into teams that are not that tanky, and if they do have some tank and bulk to them, then I'll go Sunder Sky. Since Sunder Sky is the one you're going to default to most of the time, I'm going to be building it, right? After this, as your 80, your enemy team has a lot of 80, these are the armor items you would build. Enemy team has a lot of AP, this is what you would build, and Jockshow as the default if they have both. Since this is your default most of the time, I'll be building it here. Sunder Sky is good for Poppy because every auto attack she'll heal some health, and since you are going to play a champion who is decently tanky until, she's not and she blows up, Sunder Sky is a good 80 option. Also gives her ability haste. Now the reason why you would go Eclipse, it gives you basically the same amount of stats except not that much HP, but, consider that HP still given. Not really, this gives you 450, but Eclipse will give you a shield instead. Again, we're going to go quick with the items here because they don't need much explanation. Poppy likes movement speed, Deadman seems to be her best option here, right? You know, you need another 80 item. Iceborne Gauntlet, really good. Why? Sheen. Poppy loves Sheen. Sheen items on Poppy, very good. Right? Enemy team has crit, you'd buy Randuin's. Enemy team doesn't, and you just need to keep stacking armor. Unending Despair is good. Auto attackers, yada yada. Clean his steel cap. Ruckern and Force of Nature are really good. Ruckern based on because it gives you some of the best magic resist value in the entire game. Force of Nature always has a second option. You get a little bit of movement speed. It's not the best. You get a little bit of movement speed though. Poppy likes movement speed. And the Merc Treads for if they have a bunch of CC. This is the build you're usually defaulting every game. In this order here. Right? These are the only items that you need to make Poppy Jungle work. Buffoon, I thought you said all of the jungle items work on Poppy. Why didn't you go over the red one? No, we're not going to talk about the red one. But you said all of the jungle items work on Poppy. Why not you go the red one? Honest to God, you can start any jungle item you want. No, we don't talk about the red one. You don't need the red one on Poppy. But you said all of the jungle items work on Poppy. So I think I'm going to buy them my next game. What the hell? Great job. You summoned it. You summoned it. I told you, do not buy the red item. But you said you could build it. I said something incorrect, right? You could buy every jungle item besides the red one. Now you summoned it. The full 80 Poppy jungle. There's no stopping it. I can't believe you done this. No, yeah. 80 Poppy sucks. I've never won a single game with 80 Poppy. That's why I don't get the red jungle item. Let me just give some tips and tricks on Poppy jungle. On Poppy, you always want to start your bot side. After that, you always, when you're level 3, always put 2 points into your Q, get W last, and gang top a lot. That's pretty much it. And yeah, that's everything you really need to know how to play Poppy jungle, but it seems I'm forgetting something. I'm totally not drawing this out so I can do another Cancer Core edit, and you totally don't need to turn down your headphone volumes in 3, 2...
Nuke Radio. We make your eardrums bleed.
I just checked the nuke on my pussy. She don't use Instagram, she be using Shanagram. SummerSlam, main event for price. I was wrong one time, now I'm getting right twice. For a
Nuke Radio.
billion.
We make your eardrums bleed.
Yeah, no, that's the end of the video. Nothing much else to say. Poppy jungle, fun. Poppy jungle, good? Sometimes. Yeah, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe.